And welcome to Entropia Universe. Today is Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. I'm a broadcaster, that's what I do. So for some reason, let's see, going to graphics advanced. All my settings from low are set to very high or custom. I don't know why the game does that to me. I have problems with lag most of the time, but today the game decided to work very well for me. So while I'm here, I might as well show you what the game actually looks like. I always have it on low settings so I can find fruit, which hardly ever happens. The game is running great right now. I can't explain it. Here's my avatar, Shog Hal Death. His plane of existence is the abyss. He likes a long sword, a whip, a shield, a helmet. He's the god of war, crafts, art, chaos, and hate. So I made him up out of my head. The idea comes from Magic the Gathering Online, when the 7th edition came out. Here's Neverwinter Wood. I guess we could use this for our D&D setting. There's at least 100 square miles here to explore. I don't like the names of these places much, but it works. I can always change the names if I want. Antonica. Fadewar. I guess that's the first place in EverQuest I ever showed up as. I was an elf, and I ended up in the elven forest and didn't know how to get the elevator to work. That would take you to the top level of the tree. Alright. So here's Lord of the Flies. I was impressed with the response when I last talked about this book. But today I actually wanted to read some of it. I don't know if I'll publish this video or not. This could just be a practice video. But I'm a devil may care kind of guy. I don't have scripts for my videos. That'd be a lot of work. I'm starting to do that though. We'll see what happens. Contents: the sound of the shell. For my mother and father. He wanted to write about naked young boys on an island for his parents for some reason. Chapter 1, the sound of the shell. This thing goes on for 25 pages. So there's no way I'm going to finish it. But at least I can get through the first page. Of course, many people grew up with this book having to read it in junior high or high school. And reading it 30 years later, it's still a difficult book, and it's sometimes a chore to get through. The sound of the shell. The boy with fair hair lowered himself down the last few feet of rock and began to pick his way toward the lagoon. Though he had taken off his school sweater and trailed it now from one hand, his gray shirt stuck to him, and his hair was plastered to his forehead. All around him, the long scar smashed into the jungle was a bath of heat. He was clambering heavily among the creepers and broken trunks when a bird, a vision of red and yellow, flashed upwards with a witch-like cry, and this cry was echoed by another. "Hi," it said. "Wait a minute." The undergrowth at the side of the scar was shaken, and a multitude of raindrops fell pattering. "Wait a minute," the voice said. "I got caught up." The fair boy stopped and jerked his stockings with an automatic gesture that made the jungle seem for a moment like the home counties. The voice spoke again. "I can't hardly move with all these creeper things. The owner of the voice came backing out of the undergrowth so that twigs scratched on a greasy windbreaker. The naked crooks of his knees were plump, caught, and scratched by thorns. He bent down, removed the thorns carefully, and turned around. He was shorter than the fair boy and very fat. He came forward, searching out safe lodgments for his feet, and then looked up through thick spectacles. "Where's the man with the megaphone?" The fair boy shook his head. "This is an island. At least I think it's an island. That's a reef out in the sea. Perhaps there aren't any grown-ups anywhere." The fat boy looked startled. "There was that pilot, but he wasn't in the passenger cabin. He was up in front." The fair boy was peering at the reef through screwed-up eyes. "All them other kids," the fat boy went on, "some of them must have got out." "They must have, mustn't they?" The fair boy began to pick his way as casually as possible toward the water. He tried to be offhand and not too obviously uninterested, but the fat boy hurried after him. "Aren't there any grown-ups at all?" "I don't think so." The fair boy said this solemnly, but then the delight of a realized ambition overcame him. In the middle of the scar, he stood on his head and grinned at the reversed fat boy. "No grown-ups." The fat boy thought for a moment. "That pilot." The fair boy allowed his feet to come down and sat on the steamy earth. "He must have flown off after he dropped us. He couldn't land here, not in a place with wheels. We was attacked. He'll be back all right." The fat boy shook his head. When we was coming down, I looked through one of them windows. I saw the other part of the plane. There were flames coming out of it." He looked up and down the scar. "And this is what the cabin done." The fair boy reached out and touched the jagged end of a trunk. For a moment he looked interested. "What happened to it?" he asked. "Where's it got to now?" "That storm dragged it out to sea. It wasn't half dangerous with all them tree trunks falling. There must have been some kids still in it." He hesitated for a moment, then spoke again. "What's your name?" "Ralph." The fat boy waited to be asked his name in turn, but this proffer of acquaintance was not made. The fair boy, called Ralph, smiled vaguely, stood up, and began to make his way once more toward the lagoon. The fat boy hung steadily at his shoulder. "I expect there's a lot more of us scattered about. You haven't seen any others, have you?" Ralph shook his head and increased his speed. Then he tripped over a branch and came down with a crash. The fat boy stood by him, breathing hard. "My auntie told me not to run," he explained, "on account of my asthma." "Asthma?" "That's right. Can't catch me breath. I was the only boy in our school what had asthma," said the fat boy with a touch of pride. "And I've been wearing specs since I was 3. All right, so there's some Lord of the Flies. It's fun to read, but in my opinion, it should be read by a British person. These are British kids. I can't do their accents. And again, with this book, chapter 1 just starts with them on the island, and this is edited. It was never published with the first section of the nuclear war event and how they ended up in the airplane in the first place. So it works, I guess, if you don't know that, but I'd like to read the director's cut of the book, basically. Not some edited crap. Here's the Lovecraft again. Can't get enough of that. This is just a screw around video. Brought to you by Rolling Rock. I switch beers because this one gets you more drunk. I was disturbed yesterday by my brother, so I didn't make a video. It was supposed to have this shopping list in the video for Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. Shopping list: pie, toilet paper, hot chocolate, cappuccino mix, veggies, Hawaiian punch, beer, oatmeal, hot sauce, refried beans, and soda. And that's at the Walmart. Then I went to the tobacco shop and bought tobacco and rolling papers. Alright. So, hexagons. I like this bunny Pez. It's really pretty warped. Hats off to Captain Courageous. I love his videos talking about D&D stuff and horror babble. I still like PewDiePie. I just haven't gotten around to watching his videos. And the other group I watch on YouTube is Red Letter Media. None of these people need my help, but I just like to talk about like who I watch on YouTube. I have a pretty narrow list at this point. I just watch what I like. I don't care anymore. Alright. I still haven't found my dwarven D&D figure. Alright, is that it? Who's gonna watch this? I don't know. Should I go on? I could always make another video. Oh, let's do this thing. 80,707. I reached my 80,700 mark. So now I need 93 more points to get to the next level. Well, to get to the next landmark. I'm trying to get to 100,000 points. It's going to take forever. I kind of want to keep filming, but I'm not feeling it. Mixed vegetable medley. Oh yeah, I was watching all these Captain Courageous videos, and in every video they add an ad for a snack. It's disgusting. All anybody should eat is like vegetables and fruit. It's healthy stuff. That junk food will get you, but even I can't avoid slices of cheese. What else do I eat? I had Trix oatmeal this morning, but it was good once in a while. Alright, I'm just making it up at this point. There's the island. I think Jack's the real hero of Lord of the Flies, because he's the one that set the whole island on fire, which got the attention of a nearby ship. So, that's how that goes. And I'm still sad that Piggy had to die. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Read Lord of the Flies. Give it a try again. Might as well. Your English teacher will be happy with you.